And he arrives.
What are you doing here?
Good morning, it's Tour Divide day 4, ride day number 3 for me. I had to take yesterday as a rest day. The day before was an extremely long day. It ended up being 17 hours, I would say moving, a lot of pushing on the bike. But anyways, got good night's rest last night. Tried to top up the tank yesterday with some food, and now I'm getting ready to start rolling with my buddy Chris here, who's just picking up some stuff off the road that fell off of his bike, and I'll introduce to him in a minute. Yesterday was a rest day. I'm riding with my buddy Chris here, who I've met. Chris, you're from Boston, right? Boston area?
Yeah, Boston area. Yeah.
And so what brings you out? Why are you doing this ride? What's in it for you?
15 years ago, I was declared legally blind, and I wanted to find a milestone to mark the fact that I'm still out here able to ride. So, going big.
It's great. Glad to have you out here and that you're able to do this.
Yeah.
And get to suffer through this together for a little bit.
Exactly. Glad to be out.
Yeah. All right, let's keep rolling.
So welcome to my day 4 of Tour Divide. Day 3 was actually a rest day for me, and Chris Smith and I both took a rest day. Day 2 had been such a long day. It was 17 hours moving time from the time we got up to the time I got into the hotel. So anyways, we had a good night's sleep that first night, and then Chris and I got separate Airbnbs for the second night. Day 3 we spent trying to rest, recover, get some food, had a couple good meals at restaurants, cleaned our bikes. That took quite a while to get the bikes clean. Did a brake pad change on my bike. Chris did as well. So the morning of day 4, ride day 3, saw us do a resupply at the 7-Eleven first thing in the morning. I was looking for some latex gloves because my gloves were just not waterproof enough. They were not keeping the weather out because we were so waterlogged, and they didn't have any. And I mentioned to the guy at the counter, asked him if they had any, and he generously just went to the back and they had some of theirs for their food prep area, and he gave me some gloves. So a little bit of my first experience of some trail magic, which was a really great thing. As we left Fernie, it was I think it was a 21-kilometer climb out of Fernie that we had to do. It was a long logging road that we had to go up, and it was quite muddy from all the rain that we'd had over the course of a week. But it was quite muddy, and the moisture was so much so that my glasses kept fogging up. So I'd taken my glasses off, and I have inserts for my prescription lenses. And as I'm riding up the hill, I go to put my glasses back on later on in the day, and my lenses are gone, and I have no idea where they were lost or where they were. So I did have my regular glasses. I kind of wrote them off. I didn't think I was going to see them again. And then when I got to Butts cabin, I met Mike from Oregon, and we were quickly chatting as we were trying to get the wood stove going and generate some heat. And I was kind of complaining that I just got these glasses 3 days before leaving the tour, and I lost them already. And he kind of smiled, and he reached in his pocket and he pulled them out. He had actually found them on the climb somewhere. He just, on the trail, on the muddy road, he had found them, which I was very grateful for. On the way up there, you go past a place called Sasquatch Junction. And there I ran into a game warden that turned out that he grew up about 30 minutes from where I grew up. So we had a quick chat, and he directed me to where the cabin was. And at the cabin, I waited for Chris, and Mike and I talked a bit more. When Chris got there, we realized it was just too early in the day to stop. And he arrived.
It wasn't quite 4 o'clock yet. It was way too early to stop.
we decided to go on and look for another cabin that was supposed to be further down the trail, about another 30 kilometers up the trail. We never did find it. We ended up ending the day at Wigwam recreation site, campground, right on a river, get some fresh water, and got to meet a few people, other Tour Divide riders that were there ahead of us. And that was the end of the day. Day 5, or ride day 4, it was a cold morning. We woke up at the campsite. It had rained overnight, and the tents were quite wet, but we got them packed up. And then this is the day when we were, the attempt was to get to the border, right? The plan was to get to Eureka, and we had to go up the wall, and that was quite an adventure. The wall is another hike and bike section. It's a very steep climb that many people need to take their bags off their bike and hike a bike them up the trail and go back, shuttle them back and forth. A lot of people compared it to Coco, but I don't think it was anything like Coco. Coco was just so long and rough. You know, the wall was over within 20 minutes, where Coco claims was hours. So there's no comparison as far as I'm concerned. After we got to our cabins in Eureka, we wanted to get some food. We were out of food, we needed to get some dinner, wanted a hot meal. So we arranged for a cab to take us into Eureka to get us some food. And we took Cowboy Cab, and that was quite an experience and very entertaining, and quite enjoyed it. But it was, I think we worked out to $20 a mile for the cab. It was only a 2-mile ride, and cost us $40. So it was a good adventure though, and we enjoyed the day.
Good morning. It's day 6 of Tour Divide. Day 5 of actually riding. I had to take a rest day on day 3. It's been 4.5 days of solid rain and snow, very cold conditions. Not fun, especially going over mountain passes. Probably it is the most difficult thing I've ever done, physically, period, without a doubt. Hoping for a turn today. Probably see there's actually sunshine this morning here, and I'm in beautiful Eureka, Montana. Just got over the border yesterday into Eureka, and staying at some cabins off of a golf course, which are quite nice, but hard on the budget, but really good location. Anyways, today the goal is to get to some cabins about halfway between here and Whitefish, Montana, and see how we feel. We just don't know what the terrain is like. If it was like BC, it's going to be a long day. I'm hoping it's a little less rugged. BC definitely is incredibly difficult, just because it just doesn't have the traffic on it that things down here. Even just moving across the border, you can actually see a difference in the roads and so on, and the traffic. So anyways, hoping for good things today, and we'll try to check in later today or tonight when we get to the cabin. Okay, have a good day. Oh, so I'm out on the road, day 6. We're just south of Eureka, Montana. The weather has changed for now anyways. Looks good. Gonna try to get it in about 50 miles today, or 80 kilometers to a cabin halfway between here and Whitefish, Montana. Anyways, I'm just gonna keep pedaling and try to enjoy the day.
Just outside of Eureka, was the first time I experienced trailside trail magic. At the end of a driveway, a family had put out water and soft drinks and some snacks for riders coming through with a welcome Tour Divide riders sign. It was really a good feeling that people are, kind of following along and seeing what's going on. This was also the first day when I started to have some equipment problems. One of my cages on my fork leg on my bike, the clamps actually broke. I just couldn't withstand the Tour Divide, the type of terrain, the jarring of it. The welds actually let go. So thankfully I had lots of zip ties, and I had some these rubber tie straps that I have in my kit, and I was able to get them cinched down and get going again. Later in the day, we ended up at a place called Red Meadow Lake, and it's probably one of the most scenic places on the Tour Divide. It was a nice quiet campsite right on this little lake, and Chris and I set up there, took out the drones up and got some good shots with the drones. And while we were doing that, we could hear somebody swimming, and it was quite cold, and it kind of shocked me that somebody would actually go in swimming. But later on that night, when we were cooking food around our little stoves, this guy comes over, and he's all dressed in black. He's got like tactical gear on, and he's eating a steak and in his hands. And he says, "Do you guys have your bear spray and sidearms?" Which kind of took me aback, because as a Canadian, people don't walk around with handguns. And he was very insistent that if you're in the woods there, that you should have a sidearm. We did have bear spray with us, so we weren't too concerned, and we made a lot of noise as much as we could. But it was just an eye-opener as to, if a local person or someone who's locally to that area is saying you should carry a sidearm, what were we in for?